Kim, what's it been like since you've been on campus and been a part of this team as far as just getting to know everybody and getting to know the system and everything?
No, it's been good. Having fun, competing with my teammates every day. Practicing pretty much every single day of the week, and really getting better is the goal for us, trying to get number 9, so just working hard every day.
You talked about getting to know the teammates. How have you guys been building the chemistry? We've been seeing the bowling stuff, but what other stuff are you guys doing to build that chemistry?
Really, we just, compete, play fives every day, might play video games, go to the mall, go eat together, stuff like that. So just finding anything outside of basketball to really build a bond is very important for the team.
Is there a certain player on the team that you've gotten closer with?
I would say Otega the most, only because, I want to be, pretty much as good as a one player as he is, so I try to play him as much as I can to, I would say, upgrade pretty much every basketball aspect that I can.
What about his game appeals to you?
Really, he's just strong, bro. He really knows how to attack a defense and the different gaps in the defense, so I kind of just try to pick up on any type of, play style that he may have that's not in my game and try to apply it to mine.
How would you describe your game right now and then where you want it to be maybe a year, 2 years down the line?
I would just say, three-point shooter, defender, really just a person who works hard and tries to outdo pretty much the opposing team. You could say anything that coach needs me to do, I'm willing to do it. So you can really label that as anything.
And how does your game right now fit into the system that Pope has? Because it seems like you're kind of a perfect fit. How does your game kind of fit into that, and what skills do you bring?
I would say coach, he really needs shooters and defenders pretty much, and my prototype kind of is shooting and defending, so I would say I fit that category pretty good.
You kind of had that 3-and-D label. Do you embrace that, or is there stuff other to your game as well that you want to try and show off more while you're here at Kentucky?
I would say that I would embrace that role more because that's what's getting the attention that, is being brought right now. So there's no point in really obviously I'm going to try to upgrade my game, but I would say what got me here, I'm going to stick to it.
Take us back to that, your commitment. It was the morning of the NCAA tournament game. I think it caught a lot of people by surprise that you committed so early in the process. Just why was that the right time and why was Kentucky the right fit?
I would say that I noticed that they have a lot of seniors and a lot of players that are leaving, and I know that I could have fit the play style that Coach Pope has, so I didn't want to waste no time and let other people kind of jump in my spot pretty much. So I really thought I could capitalize on that specific day.
You talk about being a defender. There's so many great defenders on this team. What's the capability that you guys have as a defensive team?
I feel like we can all switch 1 through 5. We got the guys to do it, and really coach emphasizes on playing hard defense and not really letting the offense kind of get what they want. So we just kind of disrupt what they're trying to do. They won't be able to mess with us for real.
Have you formed a chemistry defensively with anybody yet, where you're kind of getting to learn their tendencies and getting to know them pretty quickly?
I would say that I'm still getting to learn everybody, but I know that Malachi is a shot blocker, so I know that if I do end up getting beat off the dribble, I know he got me. So.
Are you guys kind of funneling people to him out there on the perimeter?
I wouldn't say that. I feel like everybody still try to guard their man, but if it does happen, I know Malachi got it.
Keep hearing the Mark Pope's offense. We've seen it. It's a little complicated, a little different. What's it been like trying to fit into that?
It's really not too much. It's really just playing basketball at the end of the day. They try to give us I would say different sets for us to really just play basketball, because all in all it really is just basketball. So.
Some of the guys last year said it was tough adjusting to the speed and volume that Coach Pope wanted them to get threes up with, that you literally had a green light basically as soon as you crossed half court. Has he been stressing that early, and have you noticed that? Do you envision something like that for you guys?
He has. I had a couple instances in practice where I didn't shoot it because I wanted to kind of slow the ball down. He got on me. We ain't gonna say what it was, but he told me to be confident and shoot the ball. That's what he brought me here for.
It looks like your dad's really embraced BBN. What has it been like seeing that and those interactions?
Really, everyone loves him. He's doing TikTok dances and reposting stuff on Twitter and all that. Well, I'm glad that he's building a bond with BBN early. And, we're going to need that because only in July, still got a whole year ahead of us, so that's good.
Have you noticed kind of a difference in kind of BBN, the kind of culture that it is? It's bigger than a lot of schools, just kind of how everybody embraces you guys?
I remember whenever I committed, everybody was tagging me in different stuff on Instagram, Twitter, texting me a bunch of stuff. And I wasn't expecting that to happen, but it shows that they really care about their players a lot.
What was your perception of Kentucky basketball before you got here compared to now?
I would say that they sent the most players to the league, and my goal is to get to the NBA. So I really thought that coming here, it could really help me ease my end goal pretty much.
What was your perception of Mark Pope before you got here?
I really didn't know like how he was as a coach at first because I was still, in mid-season, pretty much at my old school. So I wasn't really paying attention that much. But now I see that he really is, relaxed, cares about his players a lot, loves his guys, and he wants us to be great.
There's TBT around the corner. Last year, the team did a bunch of stuff with them. How excited are you to do that? And is there maybe a certain player on that team that you're looking to maybe form a bond with and learn some things from?
I'm excited to play. A lot of ex-pros, you could say, are still. Well, some are still pros, some are not. But really, they're all great basketball players. And I don't really know everybody on the team, but I will find somebody that I can try to, pick up on habits that I could use in my game.
Who was your favorite player from Kentucky?
Low-key, I like Kobe, Kobe Bryant, because he can shoot the ball, and I really like how he fits the play style that's over here. So I really watched him a lot before I ended up coming over here.
You talked a little about coming in here and getting to know everybody and stuff, but how different was it conditioning-wise? Because this is a totally different than anything you did in AU ball or high school.
The conditioning at first, it was a little difficult. I think I missed it like the first 2 weeks, though. I ain't gonna lie. But the third one I did pass, though, and I was so glad.
Dudes told you though, right? To be
No,
ready
they
for
told me, but I didn't think it was gonna be like that. No, it was good though.
What was your thought process after you committed so early? You were the first one from the transfer class. What was your thought process as more guys jumped aboard and you kind of saw this team come together?
I would just say that I was, happy that I did it early because, like I said, I didn't want nobody to take my spot pretty much. But as I kept seeing more people kind of, start enrolling here, it was just something that, I seen that we could have built a great team here with the returning guys that are here. So, Coach Pope really built a great team to help us get to that number 9.
Cam, just how good a shooter are you?
I shoot every day, so I try to shoot my best. I don't really know a number, but I really just say I work hard a lot at shooting, so I feel like I'm a pretty good shooter.
So you think it'll surprise people when they see just how good a shooter you are?
Right. I would say that most people might kind of doubt, like the numbers or whatever, but I'm not really worried about the outside noise for real because I know what I'm capable of, so I'm going to just try to exceed my own expectations.
What are your thoughts now about being an SEC player?
I don't really label it as nothing like, SEC, ACC, whatever. I would just say that it's still basketball at the end of the day. And I go try to make it bigger than what it is because that's whenever, doubt and fear and all that come in. So I just want to keep humble, confident, and know I'm good in my abilities.
But it has been touted as the toughest league, at least right now. What are your thoughts on that?
Like I said, it's still basketball, so I'm not really going to try to put it on a higher pedestal than what it is, because at the end of the day, it's something that I've been doing for 19 years, so I'm not going to make it worse than what it is.
What's the process for getting up to speed with Mark Pope's system? What are some of the steps that you went through to understand how he coaches? What does he expect from you?
I would say us running harder in transition and stuff, and really picking up on the knowledge that he's giving us and learning kind of the day of that you learn, because if you take longer than a day or two to learn certain concepts, then you're going to fall behind from everybody else who's picking it up on it early. So really just being a student of the game is going to help you.
Have you learned anything from Mo already?
From Mo? I know how to dance bad. Mo's a terrible dancer. But
You weren't already?
Nah. I can do better TikToks than Mo, but Mo cannot dance at all.
What about on the basketball court? Have you learned anything from it?
Mo, he's really like Otega. They're both strong guards, and if you're not there early, they go bump you. Whenever they go into the lane. So I would say that their driving angles, those two are the ones that I'm trying to pick up on the most.
We've heard stories that, while he's watching you guys play, he's kind of rating the percentage chance of that being a basket if he were on the floor.
Mo's just Mo, he's one of a kind, special guy, but I love him. That's my brother, and we gotta work hard for his number 9 together.
Going back to not wanting to fall behind, obviously, how much are you leaning on Otega, BG, Colin, Trent, guys who have been through this for a year and have seen Pope's system up close?
Otega, he's really been, helping me the most because, like I said, he's a vet, so or veteran to the team, so he kind of knows everything more than others. So if there's something that like I am kind of questioning, I just ask him and he helps me right then and there.
Any other players stood out as three-point shooters for you guys? And then what is the upside when it comes to your all three-point shooting this year?
Everyone say that Trent can shoot, but like whenever I've seen it in person, he really can't shoot. Him, Jasper, Jalen, everyone on the team can really shoot for real, but it's just kind of disguised because like people might look at it like, oh, he's a big, he's a forward, and like you don't think he can shoot, but everyone can really shoot. Mo can even shoot for real, but the numbers may say something different, but he can shoot the ball.
You mentioned Malachi blocking a lot of shots. What do you know about Jaden, and what do you think that's going to be like when he gets back to full speed, not on the court?
JQ, he's another shot blocker himself, but like everyone seen that last year, and obviously recovering from the ACL injury. But I know when he gets back on the court, we're going to have two players that can really defend the goal for us. Put it like that.
How good will the team be defensively?
I would say, like I said earlier, we can switch 1 through 5, so we can guard everyone. BG can switch on the guard if we need to. Mo can guard 1 through 5 too. I feel like this team is going to be a better defensive team than last year's team.
So if we had to describe who was going to be the dogs, who we looking at?
Everybody on the team.
What's harder in practice, trying to get past Otega or Muhammad on the dribble, or when you get into the paint and you got guys like Brennan and Malachi blocking shots?
I would say trying to drive past Mo and Otega because if you can't go around them, you're not getting to the goals for them to block it. So, and like I said, they're both like very strong. They probably both like 225, 230, and they kind of burly. So it's been difficult, but I'm trying to find different ways to do it.
Obviously, Mo coming from the SEC and Otega doing it last year. There's a lot of guys that look like them in the SEC.
Right.
It's not just football anymore. Basketball's really like that. So how are you expecting the transition from Tulane, a little bit of a smaller conference, maybe shorter guys, skinnier guys? How are you expecting that transition to go?
It's been going great so far. Really just finding different ways to kind of attack driving angles and different closeouts and stuff like that. Getting stronger, getting faster, because like you said, it is different competition in the SEC than the AAC. So, like I said, I'm just going to keep working hard and trying to be the best that I can.
You mentioned the NBA draft, and you're on some lists in the preseason. Just what do you need to do specifically, you think, to maybe move up some of those lists by the end of this season?
I would really just say keep doing what I'm doing now because that's what got me here in the first place. So it's not really I would say there's no point in trying to step out of like the comfort zone kind of thing, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That makes sense.
How are you liking Lexington and all the crazy fans here?
It's good. The transition was first was a little different because everybody was telling me about horse riding and stuff like that. And Louisiana, we don't have that. So everyone was telling me about it, but I ain't really Nah, never. I probably will never. I probably will never do that.
Getting back to the NBA, obviously shooting, length, athleticism. You got all three. Fairly young too, just a sophomore. Where do you see your game kind of transitioning to the NBA? Do you see yourself kind of being a 3-and-D type of guy? How can you maybe even grow your game?
Really, I can grow in every type of aspect, basketball, because I haven't perfected anything. So shooting, defense, IQ, just everything really needs an increase.
How much is being here helped in that regard so far?
It's great because, like I said earlier, they sent the most pros to the league, Kentucky has. So, their culture and their coaching is going to help me get to the place that I want to be.
How nice is it to know that Coach Pope was, able to send two guys in the second round just a couple weeks ago?
It was great. I'm happy for them. They definitely worked hard. I could tell last year, they were definitely getting their shots up every single day, and I eventually want to be just like them or better. So I know that the coaching staff and the culture here has the power to see me to my end goal, and I'm just going to keep working.
You mentioned Kobe. Does that kind of give you a template to follow this season, or maybe a combination of Kobe and Otega, or just what do you looking at last season's team? How do you kind of see yourself?
I would say Kobe probably is the majority player that I can kind of compare myself to. But comparing is like I wouldn't really try to compare me and him because like I'm my own person, he's his own person. So like I would say I would try to do different aspects in his game a little better and try to add it to my game.
You said it was tough trying to get past Otega, Mo, and some of the other defenders, but who's been the hardest to guard in your perspective?
I'll say Jalen because he's just very fast. So it's like, and he can shoot. So if you really get all the way up, he's gonna blow by you. If you back up, he gonna shoot. But like that's pretty much everybody. So, but he is definitely like the quickest player we have.
How much have you played alongside of him, like on the same team and scrimmage, and what does he kind of bring from a point guard perspective as far as getting shooters open, getting other guys open?
Jalen, he's very good at getting to the paint, and if you're open, he will find you. So you always got to be ready because if you're not ready, he throw it to you, you're gonna be mad. So.
What are some of the things you see that you guys are already good at?
Shooting the ball, playing defense, and everybody's IQ is high, so we kind of can pick up on different concepts fast.
You talked earlier about understanding, taking a day or so to understand how quickly is everybody understanding what Mark Pope is trying to do?
Everyone,
his terminology and the way he phrases things and whatnot.
I would say everybody pretty much knows everything that he's talking about. They just use different words to describe it. So everyone already knows. Like some people say, like, all right, so in the corner you lift up. So they say lift, they say snap, a bunch of different things. So everyone's naturally doing it. It's just the words that's different. So everyone really picked up on it like the first day.
Jaden was talking a lot about him watching Brandon when he was on Arizona State last year, following him around, kind of watching him in practice. Has there been a guy on the team last year, Otega, Colin, Trent, that's kind of helping you with that transition or that terminology and stuff like that?
I would say Otega and Trent, like mostly, because that's we're usually in the same group, so they kind of help me with like different things. But I'm starting to pick up on everything, like right when they say it.
Is there any part of your game at Tulane that you didn't really get to show off too much that you're looking forward to show off at Kentucky?
I feel like I showed everything, play my hardest every game, and we're just going to keep doing what I'm doing because, like I said, it brought me here, so there's no point in trying to change anything if what's been working has brought me to, like, one step closer to my dream.
Is there any game you have circled on the calendar, and why is it at LSU?
I would say like LSU, it's like a hometown game, so I might have like, family and stuff there, but I don't really treat anybody, higher than somebody else because like it's just basketball at the end of the day. So you're still playing 5-on-5, so it's nothing different.
The men's basketball account posted the ending to the scrimmage today. We just talk about Malachi hitting that shot and just how your team felt afterwards.
Malachi kind of just threw it up. He didn't think he was going to make it. He said after the fact that he didn't think he was going to make it. But, congratulations to him. But we go get him back.
Who's the best shooter on this team? You have like 5 3-point shooting contests. Who's the best pure shooter? Who hits the most?
I think I'm going to win every single shooting contest we have.
Really?
Yeah. It'll be me and then Trent and give me my best competition.
So we can expect you to compete in Big Blue Madness in the fall?
Yeah, that's the goal right now, if God allows me to do it, but that's the plan.
Dunk contest as well?
Nah. I don't really have any tricks though. But you know what? I'm not gonna spoil anybody who is getting in the dunk contest, but we have a couple surprises.
Is there already talk about that, or are you just going off observations of who can dunk well in practice?
Yeah, I can't disclose that. I don't know.
Who taught you to shoot?
My dad, when I was younger, started playing basketball like 4 or 5, something like that. And ever since then, he's kind of been teaching me different mechanics to help me get my shot perfected.
What are some of the things you've had to maybe adjust over the years that have really helped you?
I would say shooting faster and like elbow high, hold your follow through, stuff like that.
Was he one of those guys who wouldn't let you shoot like further behind the 3-point or the free throw line when you were younger, so you don't mess up your form? You kind of shoot close to the basket before you can get that strength.
When I was younger, yeah, I had to stay in, kind of stay in the paint, really get everything down. But as I got older and got stronger, he let me back up over the years.
When you entered the portal originally, did you know you wanted to come someplace like this, like a blue blood or like a high major school?
I wasn't really looking for a certain place. I was just trying to, give everybody a fair shot, and I was gonna weigh out my options. Towards the end when I felt like I was ready to make a decision.
Do you remember that first conversation with Pope?
A little bit, yeah. He was saying that he loved my game, and he felt like the way that I play, he can put that in the system and make me a better player to help me get to the NBA.
Obviously, you committed while Kentucky was still playing in March Madness. So how much were they able to kind of talk to you? Was that experience a little bit different, knowing that, you couldn't come visit and they couldn't come see you?
I would say it was a little different because normally, you come, visit here, you talk, and then make a decision. But I noticed that, they needed shooters. They had shooters on the team that were leaving. So I feel like I could have just filled one of those roles kind of fast, and then they can go recruit wherever they need.
Cam, since you were the first the transfer to go ahead and commit, was there somebody that came on after you and you saw him commit and say, hot damn, man, we're going to be good now? Was there somebody really excited you?
I would say Jalen Love, because we played in the same AAU organization for Houston Hoops. And after I seen that they were kind of interested in him, I hit him up and I was like, you might as well come over here. Needed a PG because, Lamont was leaving and he's a great PG. So felt like that was probably like the person I reached out to first.
What are some of the things that you can give as advice to younger players that they can achieve something and get to a place like this?
I would say never let anyone tell you no. Never let anyone kind of kill your dream, because just because they can't reach it don't mean you can't. So work as hard as you can, and hard work beats talent, and God works.
On paper, probably shooting's probably the worst thing maybe this team has, even though I'm sure you disagree. So what would you say to Big Blue Nation about why we shouldn't worry about shooting this year?
I would say no one really has to worry about it because we work hard every day, even when the cameras aren't around, and everyone definitely puts in a lot of work to shoot the ball, dribble, play defense, stuff like that. So on paper it looks like that, but don't worry about the paper.
How much are guys in the gym outside of regular practice times, regular workouts?
Everyone's in there pretty much every single day, before practice, after practice, late night, because it's 24-hour access for us to get in the gym. So you're only obligated to go the 1 hour for practice, but no one really is settling for that. Everyone kind of goes, before practice and after, because it's summer. We're not we don't really have any classes like that. We're not going anywhere, traveling, so everyone could really put in work multiple times a day.
Who are some of those morning owls, and who are some of those late night guys who come in midnight and stuff like that?
Morning, I only know about Braden, really. He's really, we have, normally for summer we have practice at 10, stretch at 9. He's in here at 7:45, shooting. And then after he shoots again, so he's one in the morning, and then evening, night, Mo is a 9 p.m. kind of guy. If he's just laying down, he get bored, he come in here and shoot. So that's pretty much how everybody is, but he's the only person who does it closer to that type of time.
Last week, some of the guys was talking about what their rating would be on 2K, and where would you be at?
I don't know a certain number. I would say it's somewhere in the 80s though. I don't know, I couldn't give myself a specific number, so I would just say somewhere in the 80s.
What would your shooting rating be?
99. That's simple.
Is that catch and shoot or off the dribble?
Just shooting in general, gotta be 99.
When you heard the news, were you disappointed that you might not be in the game? I know you still got some years of eligibility left, but I'm sure that's not the plan.
I was seeing it on TikTok, right? And they said that they was coming out with a basketball game. So I sent it to them at the group chat. And I was like, yeah, we finna be in the game. Check the comments, 2028. So I was like, don't even worry about it. I even unsent the message. That was mad.
So if there was a tournament amongst the guys, who's gonna take the crown?
It's not a question. I'm the best gamer on the team. 2K, Madden, NCAA. Any game like that, they can't beat me. Fortnite, everything.
Really?
They can't.
They said Jalen Lowe was the best Fortnite player.
No, he's not. I haven't lost a 2K game, haven't lost a football game, and I carry him in Fortnite every time he plays. No one's beat me in a video game.
What have you seen out of Braden so far? I feel like he's kind of the whispers. It feels like he's saying he's being brought up more and more as the summer goes along.
Braden, he works hard. Like I said, he's shooting 3 times a day. Well, 3 different times a day, you could say. But stands out about him is he can really shoot the ball, and his arms are long. So even if you get him with a move, he's still there. If you got 3 steps ahead of him, he's still there, and he can jump too. that's like an underrated thing in his game, but no one really talks about. But he can jump.
Obviously, you described him right there. It sounds like you.
Right.
Only a year older than him, but are you kind of like taking him under your wing, kind of showing him the ropes?
I try to, help him as much as I can. I don't want to like bombard him with information, but like if he like were to come ask me, I would tell him a little something. But I don't really just want to like, kind of bug him with information because like, end of the day, you got to go learn yourself. So like, if you can't figure it out, I'll help you. But you got to go and learn this for yourself, though.
Cam, is it to the point if you go out in town, everybody knows who you are?
No, not really. I can still like go to Walmart and Target and not be bothered. And no one really like tries to talk to me or none of that. So, well, right now, because I've only been here like a month, it's like so far it's right now it's good. But I feel like later in the year it'll get to the point where they're gonna want to talk to me.
Yeah, you got that 99. You don't know who you are.
So how will you be when it gets like that? When you go in where everybody knows you and wants to talk to you?
Nah, man, I'm gonna talk to everybody. You want a picture, like guys, you want me to sign something, it's cool. But like, I definitely, interact with anybody. Love BBN, love the fans, and I'm willing to do pretty much anything to make them happy.